Let's look at some houses in Brazil costing $50,000, $100,000 and $200,000. And all of these properties located in a city called Indaial in the state of Santa Catarina in the south of Brazil. And the city has about 70,000 inhabitants. It's located right next to the city of Blumenau, which is a much larger city with about 370,000 inhabitants. So it only takes about half an hour to drive to that city, and then it takes about 2.5 hours to drive to Florianopolis, which is the capital city of Santa Catarina. And this is a nice, calm and safe city. It has a lot of German and Italian influence because of the immigrants that arrived in the 1800s. And it has a river running through it called Rio Itajaí, and it has lots of parks, and it's surrounded by forest-covered mountains. And in this video I'm going to show you 3 properties, and all these properties are being sold by the same estate agent. His name is Jefferson Noriler, and I'll leave a link to him in the description below. So let's have a look at these properties. So the first property is the smallest and the cheapest. So this has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The total size is 40 square meters, which is 430 square feet. And the size of a plot of land is 180 square meters, which is 1,900 square feet. So both the house and the plot of land are on the small side, and the asking price is 289,000 reais, which is $58,000. And this is a new house, it's just been built. It's made out of bricks with cement render on the outside and on the inside of the walls. And it's got pitched roof with ceramic roof tiles. And it's got a small brick driveway, but no garage though. But I guess you could build one in the front here. And then there's a very high wall on the left and a low wall on the right. And that's because it's situated on a slope, so it's sloping down from left to right. And then you have a little small garden at the front. And the builder hasn't put in a gate or fence in the front. But you can see the surrounding houses here. They just put in a low fence and a low gate. But you don't really need any more than that because it's a safe and calm area. And those little 2 white round objects that you can see on the grass, those are tubes coming out from the septic tank. So if the tank gets full, they would just lift off that lid and empty the tank. You can see you have a small passageway there on the left to the back garden, which is handy, but you might have some problems if you want to transport bigger things into the back garden, like a swimming pool or something. Then you'd have to use a crane to lift the pool over the house. You can see they painted the house in this mix of grey beige color and kind of a yellow greenish color as well. I'm not sure if I'm too keen on the color scheme. I think it would have been nicer just to have painted the whole house in a more neutral grey color. And then you got this small white wall sticking out there. I'm not sure why they put that there. Maybe just to separate a bit the entrance to the house to the driveway. But I think it would have been better just to have left that space open so you can more easily get to the front door. And the property has some big windows in the front as well, which lets in a lot of light. I think that looks quite nice, although I don't think it looks a bit weird to have no window on the wall on the left, the stripy one. So I just think the design of the house just looks slightly strange. So let's go to the back garden and have a look. So the side of the house is pretty dark because of the neighbor's high wall on the left, so that won't get much sunlight. But the back garden gets a fair bit of sun, and it's a decent size. I like the fact that there's trees behind it, and as long as the trees in that area behind it are protected, then that's always nice to have. I'm not sure why the builder didn't continue the wall in the back there, so the whole garden is encircled by the wall. And I personally would have wanted the walls a bit higher here in the back garden to get more privacy. But I guess you can put up some trellis or something and some climbing plants, and that way you get more privacy from the neighbors. And the garden's a decent size, and there's enough space there to put in a swimming pool if you wanted to. And the back of the house looks nice. I'd probably say it looks nicer than the front of the house. You can see it's just this light grey colour on the walls. And also the windows and doors are kind of more symmetrical and well balanced. And they put an outside sink here. So this would kind of be the utility laundry area, I would think. So yeah, I kind of like the back area of the house. So now let's go into the house and have a look. So it's got a nice natural wood front door. And then directly as you come into the living room. So there's no hallway or anything. So yeah, it's not the biggest, but you can fit a sofa and a TV in here. And it's got some big windows, which is nice. Although you can see they're pretty simple and single pane glass. So they're not going to offer much insulation from the hot summers and relatively cold winters. And then at the far end is where you'd have the kitchen. So you can see they put tiles on the walls. So you put all the cupboards on the right there in an L shape. So you'll be able to put a relatively small kitchen in here. And then you have a window and a glass door out to the back garden. And I personally would not have put in a glass door. I mean, if you have glass patio doors, that's one thing. But to have a glass door like that, I just think one day that's going to break. And I think the guy's showing here that you'd put the dining table here in between the kitchen and the living room. So it's going to be a bit of a tight fit. I guess if the dining table isn't that big, you'd be able to fit one in here. And over here you have 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So the bathroom's a decent size. You put the shower here on the right, where the window is. And there you can see the toilet as well to the right. So here you can see one of the bedrooms. So it's got one large window here. And the fact that it's not a square shape, so it goes in a bit, that I think is going to make it more difficult to put in furniture in here, to put in the bed and the furniture. Yeah, it would have been better, I think, had they just made this room slightly larger in a square shape. So move the window out a bit and then put the window in the middle of the wall, I think. I think that would have made the bedroom better. But yeah, you can fit a double bed in here and a small wardrobe. And here's the second bedroom. I'll say this one's better, so it's just a square shape. Yeah, so this will be easier to put in a bed and a wardrobe into this bedroom, I think. And you can see they put grey tiles in the whole house, which Brazilians love to do. I personally am not a big fan of having tiles in the bedrooms. I think it feels a bit cold. I prefer to put in vinyl or laminate flooring instead in the bedrooms. Okay, so that was the smallest and the cheapest property. So let's have a look at the next one. So this is also a newly constructed house. It's bigger, so it has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And the size of the house is 69 square meters, which is 740 square feet. And the size of the plot of land is 360 square meters, which is 3,870 square feet. And the asking price is 500,000 reais, which is $100,000. And again, it's made out of bricks with cement render on the inside and the outside. Got a pitched roof with ceramic tiles. And I think this one looks really nice. I like the fact that it's got a little tree in the front and the builders put some plants in the front as well. It makes it look a lot more inviting. What I don't like is the glass gate and the walls here in the front. Like I said before, it just means you have to do a lot of cleaning. And I just think it's a bit more fragile than had you just put in a metal gate and fence. And then there's a nice brick driveway. Again, no garage. They like to build these houses without a garage. But there's space to put one here on the left. You've got a small little garden here in the front, which looks nice. And you have a small area here to the right as well of the house. And the wall between this house and the neighbor is a good height. It's not too low or too high. I think it's a good height. Let's have a look at the back garden. You can see how the wall on the left here doesn't seem to be completely finished. You've got these metal rods sticking out. So I guess the plan is to make the wall a bit higher, I guess. Not sure what's going on there. Oh, and here's the back garden. So yeah, the views are very nice from the back garden, that's for sure. But the back garden is quite sloping. And again, the builder hasn't put a wall in the back here. So I guess the ideal thing would be to build a wall here in the back and then fill up the space with soil. And so you get rid of this slope in the back garden. But the back garden is a good size. So you can definitely fit a nice size swimming pool in here. Or maybe put in a barbecue area as well. I like the fact that the builders put this little brick walkway around the house as well. And that's always good, it means less work for the buyer. Okay, and then going into the house from the back door. So you have the living room at the far end there, near the front door. And they put in these corner windows, which I've seen a lot in Brazilian houses. Not sure why they like those kind of windows. I always find them slightly strange. I would have preferred just to have a normal window in the front wall and then another window here on the side wall. And you'd have a TV on this wall here and then the sofa on the other side. And then you'd probably put the dining table here next to these windows. And then at the far end is where the kitchen would be. So it seems here like they've put tiles and then removed the tiles. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe they didn't like the tiles that they put up or something, or they had some sort of problem. But yeah, you'd have tiles on this 2 walls here and have an L-shaped kitchen here. And so yeah, with this house being bigger, the kitchen and the living room, definitely more spacious. And then here you got a little corridor with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So this is the first bedroom, and you can see they put laminate flooring in the bedrooms, which I personally think looks nicer than having tiles in the bedrooms. A nice big window in the bedroom as well, but it does face out into the front garden. But yeah, you wouldn't get too much privacy with this big window in the bedroom. And then let's go to the second bedroom. So this is a slightly smaller size, but it's still big enough for a double bed and a wardrobe. And yeah, the view from the window isn't the greatest. And yeah, the neighbor can kind of look into this bedroom from their window. So yeah, definitely put some plants or trellis up there to get a bit more privacy. And here's one of the bathrooms. And the tiles in this bathroom looks nice. Got a fake marble effect. And then you have the shower at the end there. And it's got a nice niche shelving area in the shower here. So yeah, it's a nice bathroom. And here's the third bedroom. So this would be the master bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. So this is a good size. Nice sized window as well. Not too big, not too small. There's lots of sockets in this bedroom. I think I counted 11 sockets. And yeah, very nice views from the window. And here's the ensuite bathroom. Again, very nice. I like the tiles that they put in these two bathrooms. Yeah, so this bathroom is basically identical to the other one. So that's really nice. So yeah, out of these two houses, this is definitely my favorite so far. Obviously, this one costs more. This is $100,000 rather than $58,000. So now let's have a look at the final and largest house. Okay, so this house also has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, but the total size of the house is 175 square meters, which is 1,800 square feet. And the total size of a plot of land is 360 square meters, which is 3,900 square feet. So the house is much larger than the previous one, but the plot of land is the same size. Now this house isn't a new build, so it's been lived in and the current owner is selling it, but it was built recently. And the asking price is 1,200,000 reais, which is $240,000. And then you can see here next to it on the left that they're currently building a new house. So yeah, if you were to buy this house, then you're going to probably have to deal with 1 or 2 years of construction noise and dirt. So you just need to be ready for that. The other houses on the street here, you can see some are a bit small, while other neighbors' houses are similar size to this house. In the front of the house looks nice. You can see the metal gate and the glass wall is higher here compared to the other houses. So this gives you a bit more security. Whether you need it or not, that's debatable. But you can see some of the other neighbors don't have such a high fence. And you can see the house is one of these box houses, so it doesn't have a pitched roof. So it's a flat roof on top. And this is the first one that kind of has a garage. It doesn't have a garage door, but there is a covered area where you can park your cars. And then on the right of the house, you can see it's got some very big windows. I kind of think they look like office windows, especially because they're reflective, but that's just my personal opinion. They have a path up to the door and a small little garden to the right. And here's the garage, which is big. You can definitely fit 2 cars in here. You can see they've got some LED lights here in the ceiling as well. And here you have a little path on the side of the house. And they've already put some plants here, which is nice. Oh, here we've got a second front door. So this leads straight to the utility laundry room. So that's not very common to have 2 doors here in the front. Usually the door to the laundry room leads to the back of a house, not the front. So that's a bit strange. I'm not sure why they did it like that. And then going into the house, you come into the living room, which is much more spacious than the previous houses. You've got a lot more room here to put a decent couch. And here are the big windows. And yeah, it's good that they're reflective, so you don't have to pull the curtains during the day to have a bit of privacy. But you will have to close these curtains in the evening. Now you can see they put more glossy, shiny porcelain tiles here, rather than the matte, dull grey tiles that the previous houses had. And these glossy tiles look a lot better, but they require more cleaning, because any stain or dirt on these tiles show up a lot more. And yeah, they've got a big TV rack here with LED lighting. So they'll probably stay with the house, so you get that if you buy the house. And the house has pretty high ceilings here in the living room and the kitchen as well, which is nice. And because this isn't a new build, it has all the furniture and a kitchen already installed. And the kitchen's pretty big, so you've got lots of workspace. And the island's very nice, with a breakfast area and a sink and a stove. So that's really good. And this kitchen has a lot of cupboards. So you've got cupboards under the island and covering the whole wall on the other side. With a big fridge as well. And usually all of these appliances stay with the house, the owner gets it. And then further along here you've got the laundry or utility room, which is a good size. And it's got the same style of cupboards in the laundry room. So yeah, lots of storage there, so that's good. And then the door leading out to the front garden rather than the back garden. And then in the kitchen you also have a barbecue, so a charcoal barbecue. So that's the first house that has that. And that's pretty common in houses here in the south. So I'm a bit surprised I didn't see that in the other houses actually. And then they've got a big dining table. And actually this dining table can actually turn into a snooker table as well. So I think you just remove this top part here, and then you have a snooker table underneath. So yeah, the dining area is very big. And at the end here you have a small bathroom just with a toilet and sink. And you can see at the end of the dining room there, they've got some big patio windows, which lets in a lot of light. And let's have a look at the bedrooms. This is the first bedroom and one of the smallest. It's a decent size. And you can see the window looks out to the side there, onto the wall. But yeah, no, it's okay. And there's the second bedroom. Similar size to the first one. The window looks out to the side of the house again, to the wall. But it's definitely big enough to have a nice double bed and some big wardrobes. And then here's one of the bathrooms. Nice marble effect tiles. And you can see they've installed everything in the bathroom here. So you got a sink and the shower. And you can see they put in an electric shower rather than a shower heated by a gas boiler. But yeah, the furniture in this bathroom are very nice. And then this is the master bedroom, which is a big size, with nice patio doors leading out to the back garden. They've got some big wardrobes there. And then to the left, you've got an ensuite bathroom, which looks really nice as well. So they've invested quite a lot in the furniture they put in the bathroom as well. And now let's have a look at the back garden, which has a patio, a swimming pool, and a pergola. So the swimming pool is straight ahead, and then to the right, you've got a covered seating area. And then you have a little shower next to it as well, so you can take a shower before and after going in the swimming pool. And behind there you can see there's a mound of soil. So what the estate agent says is this is an area, a protected area, which can't be built on. And so they're going to put plants on this mound of soil, and you're just going to have trees and vegetation growing there. So yeah, so if that's the case, then that's great. Just looks a bit weird at the moment. And yeah, the pool looks really nice. I mean, it's pretty small, but yeah, the kids will love it, and yeah, it's great on these hot days. And here in the corner is where you have the pool equipment, and then you have a little door here leading out to the back area. So the area beyond the wall isn't part of this property, but they've put a little door here so you can walk behind there and into the forest. And in the middle there you've got the pergola. I guess this area is for putting the sun lounges, I guess, next to the pool. Oh, you can see it's got a small waterfall as well, falling from the pergola, which I guess is a nice touch. Okay, so those were the houses. So I just wanted to show you what you get for different price levels. And you can see the styles of all the houses are pretty similar. They're all made out of bricks with cement render. And they all have quite big windows in the front. And when you walk through the front door, you come straight into the living room. And then the kitchen and dining room are towards the back. And they're all single-story bungalows. So none of them have second floors. But the roofs are a bit different. So some are pitched roof with ceramic tiles, while others have flat concrete roofs. And yeah, the largest, most expensive one looks the nicest. But I personally think that the house looks a bit like an office or a commercial building, especially with those big reflective windows and the flat roof. Now you find these styles of houses all over Brazil. I mean, they will change a bit, but there are houses out there with different styles, which look more like European and American houses. And I've done videos in the past showing that. And then also, if you look for houses more out in the countryside and into the mountains, there you also find timber houses. And then in terms of prices, so yeah, if you want to buy a house in a larger city, then prices will probably be higher. In a lot of the big cities, obviously, it's more apartments rather than houses. But then if you look for a house in an even smaller town or village, then the prices can be even lower, obviously depending on the town and village that you're searching in. And then finally you have the possibility of just buying a piece of land and then building the house yourself, which in general will be cheaper than buying a house. But then you have the drawback of having to wait 1 or 2 years while you build the house. So I hope you like this video. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you've got any comments or anything, leave in the comment section below. So thanks for watching. Until next time.